Live from NBC5, the NATO summit in Chicago. This is an NBC5 News special edition.
Our investigative team has had its ear to the underground of the NATO protesters. By monitoring social media and the sites that activists, anarchists, and protesters are using, we've gained some insight into their world and some of their plans. NBC5's Lisa Parker joins us now with much more. Lisa?
Allison, we already know 2,000 members of the mainstream media, like us here, are coming to cover the NATO summit. But among the many unknown angles is how many citizen journalists, as they refer to themselves, are going to come here to try to show their unique view of what happens. For example, this guy's name is Tim Pool. He made a name for himself covering Occupy Wall Street. He's from the south side of Chicago. On this day, with this clip from Zuccotti Park, he had 15,000 viewers. He's gathered quite a number since then. That's just one of the places we'll be watching as this week progresses. Of course, we're going to be going over to Twitter. Late this afternoon, we saw this posting. This was a guy who was tweeting from Diet High School, where Charlie just showed you some of that video. This guy was telling his followers, come there. If you can't, here's a live stream link so I can show you what I'm seeing, and that is their goal. Now, on the the spectrum of what we're covering, there's anarchistnews.org. We've seen a number of blog postings. And as you might imagine, as the drumbeat grows, we're seeing more comments like this sort of macro view. This is our presence will be to defend the marchers, show that the cause of this revolution is not lost. So some of the rhetoric is starting to amp up, but the live streamers that we've been talking to say simply, their goal is to show the story as it happens.
Given what's happened in every other city, there's no doubt that at least half of our guys will probably be arrested, if not all of them. We have worked on a lot of alternative streaming solutions because we have heard a lot about how they plan to shut down cell service during the NATO summits. So we actually have in place solutions so we can still get internet connectivity in the area even without traditional services like cell phones.
Okay, so that was Todd Freeman. He's one of the guys that we're going to be following this week. We've seen the messages. They continue to be, for the most part, many of them nonviolent, but increasingly more logistical. You're seeing the protesters and the citizen journalists telling each other where to find each other once they arrive here in Chicago. Now, as we watch this all week, we hope you will watch with us. One of the places you can join us is on Twitter, handle at Lisa Parker NBC or at NBC Chicago. And Rob and Allison, as you might imagine, the spectrum of comments that we're seeing is quite a wide one.
Now let's go to Kim Vadas live in Lakeview, where more protesters are set to arrive by bus. Kim?
Well, tonight the first wave of demonstrators will arrive. About 800 of them are going to be coming here in all. And this is one of the locations at a church here on Wellington. Now let's take a look at this video. Some of these demonstration groups are actually streaming live video of their trip from a bus. This one in particular is traveling from New York. Others are coming from coast to coast, from Portland to Providence. Now, this first bus is due to arrive around 6:30 to 7 o'clock. 4 more are arriving overnight.
Stefan, we are probably about 100 yards back from the front of the pack, and so far this has been a very peaceful demonstration. As a matter of fact, if you look just to the side here, you'll see that we are marching along with a large group of Black Bloc demonstrators. So far there have been some noises, some drum beating, but it has been relatively peaceful. There was a minor disturbance at the beginning of this demonstration, right as it stepped off from Grant Park. I passed Superintendent Gary McCarthy a few minutes ago, and he said, so far, so good. Live from the middle of this demonstration, in the middle of Michigan Avenue, Phil Rogers, NBC5.